Hola, from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva. Welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Saturday, y'all. Or Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. As you can see, I live where they decide that they're going to just shoot up fireworks at random between May 31st and Labor Day, or Memorial Day and Labor Day. Yeah, that's more like it. But I wasn't on last night, you guys, because I needed to get myself together for today, because I was on set, excuse me, for a movie. And it was actually a very cool experience. And I did do some videoing, but everything that I did, other than the pictures that I posted on Instagram, I can't share because it was, actual like scenes in the movie, and it hasn't been released. But I did it, just so that we would have memories, those of us who were in it. And I've been watching all. I watched and got a chance to see many of my family in the various protests around the country. Shouts out to my cousin Gwen Noor at Gwen Noor. She was in the protest in downtown LA with my cousin, her son, who will be old enough to vote in this November's election. My son will also be voting again in this November's election because he will be 25 by the time. But my other cousin, her son, is turning 18. So this will be his first time voting. And I don't know if you guys have been hearing, various people speaking on the idiotic comments by none other than Drew Brees in regards to, the kneeling. And Gary Owen also gave his take. He said he doesn't think that Drew is necessarily racist. He just thinks he's a little out of touch. And I agree with them on that. But I think it's more than he's just out of touch. Because then you guys are walking around. Had to walk across the room to grab something. But as I see it, Drew Brees is from Texas. Okay. And although, he has been, quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, that doesn't mean that he's necessarily in touch. Hey, just chilling. How are you? You know what, just chilling. I am going to mod you up, just chilling. Because you always come through, dude. And I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming through just to support and say hi. But yeah, I told you guys personally, I think that Drew Brees should have, shut the F up. Shouldn't have said a damn word at all. That's my stance. Because, if you don't have anything really smart to say. Exactly. That's my feelings. He needs to shut the F up. Don't say nothing else. Don't apologize. Just keep your mouth shut. Just go away for a little while. And then maybe we might forget you made this stupid ass comment. But, here's the other twist to that.
What do you mean? I have a good relationship with the blacks. The fuck?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the blacks. I'll get to that in a minute. I have, on the flip side, Roger Goodell has the audacity to say that the NFL missed it. But in all of his apologies about Black Lives Matter, I did not hear that man say one thing about Colin Kaepernick. Not a damn thing. What you gonna do for Colin? Since you have destroyed any chances of him playing football because you basically just sat him to the side, why don't you give him a job in management? Why don't you create a brand new position for him dealing with, I don't know, relations with the Black community? Because clearly, Mr. Goodell, you're out of touch. You are very, very welcome. Hey, Lawrence. Hey, hometown. Hey, have you been to Black Lives Matter Plaza? Lawrence, have you been to Black Lives Matter Plaza? Y'all seen the tweets going out saying that 45 now lives at 1600 Black Lives Plaza. Black Lives Matter Plaza. I love it. And they say that you can see that from space. It's so big that they can see it on the satellites. I love it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah, and he's one of the people that uses the blacks, the African Americans. See, when you say the in front of Black or African American, it sounds really condescending. Anyone who says that, they're not really in touch. Because 45 always says he has a good relationship with the blacks. Not that he has a good relationship with Black people, but he has good relationship with the blacks. What an idiot. I know. I wish I was home just so I could go. Just so I can go. And I hope it stays there and he can't do anything about it. I wish he would try to take that from up there. It's going to just make him look like more of an a-hole than he already is. Oh yeah, I'm waiting for him to do something. I mean, everything he's done is pretty much, like he's basically made DC into like a military state with his BS, bringing everybody into there. And I am so glad that there were so many people in DC today. I saw a lot of the people sharing things on social media. I saw them down by where the reflection pool is, by the Lincoln Memorial. I mean, it was thousands. And the only way anything has been happening lately is when the stupid police instigate it and egg it on. I wish he would. I want him to try. Because right now, as far as I can see it, it's not exactly a shoe-in like he thought. It's not a shoe-in. It never really was. But right now, I'm sure he's just wishing all of this would just go away. But I'm so sorry, Mr. 45. It's not going away. It's not going away. This has become a global movement. Black people everywhere are standing up for the Black people in America. Don't you get it? We, out of all the Black people around the world, have had it the worst. 400 years of slavery, then 50 years of you pretending like you were letting us have something, but meanwhile you burned down Rosewood and, Black Wall Street when we do have something, because you really don't want us to have that. And then after that, now that you've got it so that we ain't got nothing, then you systematically continue to put our men into the new plantation. But we need to get over it, right? We need to get over it. Yeah, all lives matter. Sure, all lives do matter. But see, what the point is that we are trying to make sure you understand that Black lives matter, period. Because apparently you don't understand that they do matter.
No, they don't. Just go down south.
I'm waiting for Trump to do some dumb stuff. Hey, what am I saying?
What do you mean? Wait till tomorrow?
Exactly.
Daily.
I'm like, what am I saying? What am I saying?
Yeah, what time is it? Oh yeah, well he do tomorrow.
Because something's going to happen between. He's going to tweet something out.
He's consistent.
He's going to. But here's the thing: when your own people have been talking about you, you might want to sit down. Let's think about this, y'all. During this presidency, it's been a revolving door of who's on his staff. The only consistent person has been the VP, because hey, that's the only one he couldn't fire. That's the only one he couldn't fire. But anybody else, yeah. He used Omarosa up until her Blackness wasn't doing him any more good. So then he threw her to the wayside. What did he have? He had Chris Huckabee's daughter up in there until she was of no more use to him. She was a bulldog too. She kept, anyway, I digress. But it's revolving door. So here's the thing. If by some nightmare he actually wins, he's going to have to get a whole new staff. Because I'm sure most of these people that are there are just praying for November. They praying for November. They want to be happily unemployed. I know she did. I know she did, just chilling. But she also was a bulldog. I unfortunately have to say she was probably the best pick he had. Because she could stand up there and give you she had that standing, face. Whenever she was talking, you could, and she basically a poker face. You couldn't read her. Couldn't read the girl. Hey, Tutu Thing. But all of the protests today were all peaceful. And y'all, as I keep saying, the reason why Los Angeles is going so hard is because I keep trying to tell y'all, even though this wasn't LAPD that did this, it could have been. It could have been. It could have been. Because there's a whole bunch of BS going up in there. And let me just tell you that the majority of the quote unquote black officers that were hired into LAPD, most of them are aged now. You know, they're like in their 50s. They don't have a whole bunch that are in their 20s and 30s that are of color, black or Hispanic. Let's just be real. Majority of them are not. And the majority of them do not live in the communities that they serve. Probably because they're scared to live in those communities. So it's going to be interesting to see all of the fire the LAPD is under. And let me just tell y'all, I've been seeing video after video after video of blatant misconduct by LAPD during this time. And you know who's videotaping that stuff in many cases? Not us. It's the fed up white people yelling, "Don't say nothing. They shouldn't even have you. It's the wrong car." They know it's the wrong car. And this is something that just happened in the last couple of days. They pushed over a 75-year-old man. Let me just say that, cracked his skull in one peaceful protest. I'm not sure where that was, but this is the kind of stuff that's going on. You go up to the city of Tacoma, you got officers up there acting out. No wonder they were burning police cars in Seattle. You know, it's all over the freaking country. It is because, you know, a lot of them may have a record for stupid stuff like marijuana. That was in Buffalo. Okay. Thanks, Just Chillin'. And did you guys know that in the whitest, and I'm just going to be frank about it, state, Montana, did y'all know that one of the cities there actually has a black mayor? And that is very, very Trump country. But guess what they do in the state of Montana? They don't vote on partisan lines. People don't run in a party there. They just run on the issues. And may the best man win. Or woman. Isn't that interesting? That a state that's all behind that man does their elections that way. And so a black man is the mayor of one of the cities there. Now he is a black American, but he's not, because he's an immigrant from Africa. So that's even more. He's not only black, he's not even a black, who was born here. But he's been here and he served in the armed forces here. And they said how this man won that election. He said he went around to everybody and knocked on their doors and just talked to people. Because it's not about, see, in their local elections, they don't deal with the parties. Wouldn't it be nice if that was the way we actually ran the country? that we weren't stuck in this two-party system. When we have to worry about, for the most part, which person who comes into office is the least likely to not like Black people. You know, because there's never been a president that's for us, including 44. He was the president who happened to be Black. Don't hate me for telling the truth. No, yeah, he's a Black man, and he embraces his Blackness. But as president of the United States, he was not the president for the Black people. He was the president for the people. And some of us question that. And I like 44. I really do. I like all the things that he's talking about right now, and he's out there doing as a private citizen, even throwing shade at 45 for his tantrums when he doesn't get his way, for his bullying tactics when he doesn't get his way. But you know, guys, I watched this series, I think it's on Amazon Prime. It's either on Amazon or it's on Netflix. Nope, it's on Netflix. It's called History 101. And one of the episodes on there talked all about China and talked about how China went from being, you know, pretty much this agricultural country into these, I don't know, mega revenue centers with all these different districts and around, with these huge cities that they lured all of the people in, and now, you know, they are closely coming on the US's tail in being the richest country. See, like right now, I think they're at what, 3 trillion, and we're at 9 trillion. Potato. Not much of a leap. Hey, Matt. You think that there were 2 officers that put their hands on him? Well, see, here's the thing. When you watch the tape, you see the one who murdered him for sure, and then there's another officer that appears to be kneeling next to him, but you can't tell if he's on top of George's body or if he's just kneeling in front of George's body. And then you have Tao there, who to me was the other senior officer, because if he did some stuff back in 2014, this other dude wasn't training him. He was training those other 2, supposedly. And supposedly, both of them said something, but were told, you know, that nothing was wrong. Yep, Hong Kong is protesting. But don't get it twisted. I know China doesn't really like us, because let me just tell y'all something. Part of what China is doing is they're doing the same thing that countries like our country, the one we were born in, and the Europeans are doing. They're doing neo-colonization on the continent. They're trying to take over precious metals and stuff on the continent, just like everyone else. So they are not our friend. They're not a friend to the Black people, because they're trying to do the same thing to the continent. Yeah. We're taken care of by the elitists here. For now. So the other one that I saw kneeling next to him was holding his legs. Because you can see that there was you can clearly see that there was at least one other officer down on the ground with him. You can see that in the tape. And I don't know which one is the one who claims that he said that he didn't think they should be doing it. I don't know if that was the one who was down on the ground with him or if that was one of the ones that was standing. Who knows? But, everyone's claiming innocence at this point because, they're all going on trial. And I know they're going to try to get separate trials. But even if they try to get separate trials, I bet you the state is going to make them all run concurrently. In other words, all 4 trials at the same time in the same courtroom, with the state trying each one of them. If I'm the getaway driver on a robbery that someone dies from, I'm not the shooter, but charge. Exactly. Charge the same. Accessory. That's what I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter. They can ask for separate. Trials, but my understanding is that they are considered aiding and abetting. So therefore, it's the same charge. Sorry, not sorry. It's considered aiding and abetting. But here's the thing. Now we got to fight for the conviction because it seems like damn near impossible to get police officers charged, even when they're lying through their freaking teeth, like Amber Geiger, for what they actually did. What, that girl's getting 7 years? Something crazy like that? Because she cried and battered her blue eyes and said, I'm not a racist and I didn't mean to shoot him. I thought I was going in my own apartment. Yeah, I'm making fun of her voice.
Yes, please. Shut her 8 times.
RICO law. Nobody even tried to do anything. And we don't know if they really know CPR. Because, you're supposed to get recertified in CPR every year. Every year. And 2 of them were supposedly new officers. So that means they should have been fresh off of CPR training, right? And yet, you did nothing. I know they're blaming it on him, but it doesn't matter. You're going down. Morally, you should have known. This man saying, I can't breathe. Now, I'm sorry. Was your head in the sand when it happened to Eric Gardner? When it happened to Eric Gardner and he was against a building and it was a bunch of policemen on him? Was your head in the sand when that happened? I'm sorry. No one can claim innocence. No one. They're all contributors to this man's death. Of course, everyone's going to be pointing the blame at him. So, because they're all trying to get off. Nobody should get off. Everyone needs to go to prison. Everyone. And I'm not talking about months. I'm not talking about a couple of years. I'm talking about decades. We need to be seeing them in prison for decades. Some of us need to be gone to glory before they're eligible for parole. George Floyd's daughter should be grown, married, have children and grandchildren before these men are eligible for parole. And has anybody heard anything about George Floyd's fiance and their child? Have we heard anything about that child? I ain't heard a daggone thing. Like, it's like quiet. We don't hear nothing. We hear about his daughter. Because, you know, Kanye West is going to pay for this girl's education. And I heard Kanye was in Chi-Town with the protests in Chi-Town. He went home. I also have been hearing that life is not grand for him during the lockdown with his wife, and that he might want to not be with her anymore, but that she doesn't want to not be with him because it would look pretty bad for her. It would look like he woke the F up. But I'm really, really hoping that this is a speedy trial, like the state prosecutor is saying, because he's talking about months. He is not talking about till next year. He's talking about that he is trying to get this to trial within a few months, which would be wonderful, because it needs to happen soon. You know, while all of these other cities are quote unquote reforming their law enforcement, I want to see them all put their money where their mouth is. I don't want to be afraid for my son, who is a Black man with autism, because you can't tell that he has a disability if you just see him. You know, I don't want to be afraid for him. I don't want anybody else to be afraid. I don't want my nephew who, you know, he works in security. And right now he's thinking about perhaps going into law enforcement. Don't want him to do it. But, you know, I don't want to worry about him. Or my other nephew. Or my niece who's in ATL. Or my other nephew. Yeah, I got a few nephews here. That's also in Georgia, who is the same age as my son. Beautiful chocolate brown, you know, Black men. And I have to worry about someone not liking the fact that their skin is so melanated. Yeah, Kanye should feel guilty. Sell out. But anyway, you know, y'all know I just think Kanye is crazy. So I think he, you know, he has all this creativity inside of him, you know, but it makes him a little crazy. And I think he was probably already that way before his mama passed. And he's just been more so that way. And then, you know, being in that family, well, I can just imagine how it's been for him being locked down, you know, with his wife and his 4 kids. I'm sure it's been torture. Because, Kim, what can we say about her? She thrives on attention. So it had been a bit much for him because he had to probably give her a lot more attention than he's used to having to give to her. But we'll see as things come out of lockdown, if these two survive. Kanye Kardashian just chilling. You ain't right. Yeah. I mean, we seeing him. He out and about. I was wondering why wasn't Kim with him in Chi-Town? Oh, I guess she was back home with their 4 kids. With the video of the black woman trashing Floyd, saying he's a criminal. Nah, I ain't seen that one. Tutu. That's just a dump. There's a few black women out there tripping. We don't care who he was effing, okay? We don't care that he was with, someone who was not black. That doesn't mean that he should die. I'm sorry. It doesn't. And why are people trying to go find things wrong with this man? No matter what he did in his life at the time of his death, he didn't deserve that. Hey, Terry. He didn't deserve that. And I have been seeing that some of the protests that have been going on have also been remembering Breonna. We don't want to forget about her. We don't want to forget about all these women who have died to police brutality too. Because I don't think any of us believe that Sandra Bland really committed suicide, do we? Do we think she really committed suicide? I think not. Yeah, I don't understand. Well, see, here's the thing. Oh, I gotta say this, y'all. Have any of you guys seen, there is a picture floating around social media of this white girl, and she's holding this big, huge black paraphernalia. Looking serious as I don't know what. But I think her point was what somebody else had printed on the back of a shirt, which said, please don't open your mouth for black, if you're going to keep it closed on black issues. So I think that that's a message from some white girls to other white women. Those who come in and are with men in our race, but don't want to deal with all the other things that come along with that. I know that 45 needs to watch himself, saying blacks should go back to Africa. This man is off his rocker. Let's just think about that. The ones who wanted to go back to Africa did. I believe that's that. There's a country over in Africa that was founded by former African slaves that went back. Yeah, I believe I want to say it's Liberia, something like that. Something beginning with an L. And yeah, they have a very, very corrupt government. I wouldn't advise going over there. One of the members of my church is from there. She goes back on a regular basis trying to help, even though she's here in the United States, to rectify some of the craziness that's going over. Very, very corrupt country. Let's see, I will never respect police because I've seen many videos. I know, I'm telling you. But, here's the thing. We all know that there are some officers out there that are real. And they're there to do their job. They're not there to beat up everybody. But unfortunately, that's not who we're talking about right now. That's not who we're talking about. We're talking about these other fools who think nothing of it. In the middle of these silent protests that are about what you've already done, you're going to continue to do the same stupid stuff. So, let the games begin. See, because they think that folks are going to get tired in a day or two. I don't think that's going to happen. I really think that it's just going to go on. It's going to go on. It's going to go on for a while. I think it's going to go on for at least a few months. They're going to be dealing with these. And if, it looks like that trial is only a few months out, it'll probably go on until the trial. Hey, Jack. Oh, yes. It's going to be going on. And it appears that 45 has just pissed people off. Because instead of the crowds growing smaller in the nation's capital, they're growing bigger there. Yeah, they're growing bigger. It's going to get big, y'all. Because think about this. When they had the Million Man March, and they had all of those men, those black men come to DC for that. Wouldn't it be powerful if they got that many people, if it starts to grow to that kind of velocity coming into DC? Because this, is a national issue. It's really an international, but for us, it's a national issue. Because the bottom line is that I don't know how many of you guys have seen Kimberly Jones floating around Instagram. I think it's if you follow D.L. Hughley, he has it in his feed. But, she talks about, why everything's getting burnt down. And she breaks it down about, about the slavery, about them, about how she analyzed it like a Monopoly game, where we had 400 turns where we couldn't play. We would make money, but we had to give all of our money to the other side. Then we got 50 plays where we were able to play, but then once we got to a certain point, they dropped bombs on us and burnt down all of our stuff, took everything away from us. And then she talks about how it is now and how, they should be glad that all we're asking for is to be treated equally and not asking for reparations.
Or revenge.
Or revenge.
Because payback.
Because we've been treated less than human. And, you know, payback is always, you know, revenge is always best when served cold. I don't know.
That's the white man's biggest fear. And
you know,
there you have it.
They're afraid.
It all goes back to slavery.
It does. It really, really does.
It all goes back to slavery.
It really, really does. You know. And they've never, no matter where we are, no matter how far we've come in our minds, many of them still think of us in that same way, as chattel that was brought to this country. Many of them think of us in that same way, still to this day. But hey, we're not the reason why by the year 2050, you're probably going to be the minority. You know what the reason why is? It's because your women don't want to have your babies. That's not our problem. That's not our problem. And I know you think depopulating Africa is the answer. That's still not going to make you guys have more people. There's still going to be more of all of us who are laughingly called minorities when we're really not. You know, because there's only one human race. Really, only one. We all belong to it. It's just about, I don't know, whether you have melanin or, you know, not full melanin. Because, you know, everyone really has melanin in their skin, except for the albinos. They're the only ones who don't. Even folks with vitiligo start out with melanin. Let me see what you guys are saying. It was like running miles on a track. Exactly. Okay, I think. Did I go away for a second, y'all? Let me see. Okay. Okay, looks like I'm back. Looks like StreamYard tried to kick me out, but I'm still here. See, they be trying to, they don't be liking what I'm saying. They don't like this radical autism mom. They didn't know. They don't understand. My dad was part of the civil rights movement. They don't know. They don't know my history. So it's all good. You know? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They tried to kick me out. They tried to kick me out, y'all. Tried to make my sound go away. President Code 45. I forgot about that commercial, Jack. I forgot about that commercial. That was a long time ago, man. Yeah, back when he thought he was fine. Never was he. Never was he. Let me see. What are you guys saying? Oh, yeah. Ben and Jerry. Yeah, uh-huh. They got arrested. Them little old white men got arrested. They sure did get themselves. See, a lot of people forget. People think,
Old radicals from the 60s.
you know, people forget that they're hippies. Those men are old hippies at this particular point, you know, who just happen to have some bomb ice cream, you know. But they've always been activists. Now they're just old. Billy D. Oh, Billy D. Man. Y'all know Billy D is bisexual these days. So Billy D is bisexual, you guys. Haven't y'all heard? Or he's he's sexually fluid. Yeah, sometimes he feels like a woman, sometimes he feels like a man. So, you know, yeah. And back when Billy D was doing that, man, Billy D's my daddy's age. So hell to the no. I thought he was a nice looking dude though. But you know, Denzel would be more what I'd be looking at. But he'd never do those commercials, so. He would never do those commercials. You know, and you know how they do our dudes. They put them in the Old Spice commercial. You've been Ben and Jerry's. I remember I used to go, they had one up in, because you know they used to have stores. I don't know if they have stores still, but they used to have stores. We used to go to the Ben and Jerry's store. They had one in Westwood. Over there by UCLA. And we used to go to that store to get that expensive ice cream. Oh, your mom was messed up about it? Man, I'm glad my mom gone. My mom would have been messed up about that mess. She'd have been messed up about Billy. Billy D with his, sexually fluid self. Man, get the hell out of here at 81 years old. You better shut up. How you gonna think you sexually fluid at that age? Unless you've been doing it the whole time and been tricking the rest of us. And we just didn't even know. Now, that might be what's really going on with Billy D. Did Barry come in? Hey, Barry. I didn't see you come in, Barry. You went and got you some Ben and Jerry's tonight? Yeah. They've always been for us. They've always been for us. In that trip? But we found out that, you know, some other things that we like to have aren't for us, like certain pieces of clothing. And then they try to backpedal on that stuff. What was it? A few years ago, certain white designers were saying that their clothes were not for us. And yet, and still, we were buying their stuff. But have you guys been seeing like the lists that have been going around on social media in different communities where people are giving you lists of all the Black businesses to start patronizing instead of their other counterparts? Like here in the Los Angeles area, they've given like all of the different Black-owned businesses, like in LA, in the different sections of Los Angeles, in the cities surrounding LA, like, you know, Inglewood, Pasadena, Carson, Hawthorne. But they're just naming like all of these different Black businesses that people now see me. I've already been doing that. I didn't have to wait, you know, for this to happen, for me to do that. That's always been my preference. I don't know. I was raised that way. You know, even when I was growing up, you know, I was fortunate that most of my doctors were Black. And a lot of Black people don't have that. And I know I don't know, for me, that was probably because, yeah, my dad was a doctor. He still is. My godfather was a doctor. He's now retired. You know, I mean, and he was the chief of staff at Howard University Hospital. So growing up in DC, I didn't have to worry about my health care and stuff. It was all handled by Black folk. You know, when I went and took my dance lessons, went to a Black-owned dance studio growing up, you know. And then, you know, my first year in college, I went to a Black school. But then when I came to California, you know, y'all know I went to SC. Sorry about that. My neighbors are shooting off those freaking fireworks. Y'all know I want to say another word, but I'm not going to. They keep shooting them up. What did Jack say? Ben and Jerry, Cheech and Chong, what's the difference? Yeah, well, you know, Cheech and Chong are for us too. Y'all know Chong. Ray Dong Chong is his daughter. Her daddy's for us, but I don't know, you know, she used to always kind of, even though she's Black, she, you know, tended to try to go towards her other side. But, you know, I just think she was mixed up. Mixed up like, what's that other one? Mario Van Peebles. That dude. Yeah. Real mixed up about his Blackness. Even though even with his dad, he's still
sweet back.
Mm-hmm. She just, you know, she's one of those, you know, Black on the outside. Even though, you know, she would do the movies with us and everything, that's not really where her head's been at. He is, I'm telling you. I used to see Mario at, you know, different clubs in Hollywood. That boy could not dance to save his life. He couldn't dance. He danced like a white person. He did. He had absolutely no rhythm. He danced like a white boy, point blank. And he wasn't interested in sisters anyway. He wasn't interested in no sisters. I never saw him with any sisters, ever. He was always with some, you know, girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. So I figured that was what he liked. And I would just see him out and just shake my head. Because he would be trying to act like he was down, but he's not really down. You know, his father legitimized him. Now, he's a good actor. Loved him in New Jack City. You know, I loved him in, what was that? What was the other, Posse? Loved him in Posse. Love some of the directing he does. You know? But I don't consider him a down brother. Y'all hear the fireworks. It's like I'm in the park. Like I'm outside, y'all. He thought he was down. Mario never been down. He ain't never been down. I'm like that. When I used to see him all the time, I was like, oh, this brother's so out of touch. You know? But he would be faking it. Fake it till you make it. Hey. Better be glad who his daddy was. That's why we would just give his butt a pass and keep it moving, saying he's just confused. Just let him think whatever he wants, poor thing. Oh yeah, New Jack City classic, y'all. That's a classic. I give him his props for that. Let me clap for him. Because I've watched it several times during this lockdown. Or we've watched it. But we haven't watched Posse. We need to go see if we can find Posse. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone else watched Posse. I didn't watch it. Yeah, his recent movies, he ain't done nothing good in a while. All his good stuff was done before the year 2000. But it's the truth. It's the truth. Has anybody paid that $20 to see Ice Cube's new movie with Tracy Ellis Ross? Y'all, I ain't paying $20 to see the movie. Because, I could just wait till the movies, till it comes out on DVD. I'm not paying $20. Sorry. I really like you, Tracy. I like you, Q, but I'm not paying $20. For a rental. That's to rent it. You're not even buying it. And that's only for 48 hours. Once you start it, you have to watch it within 48 hours. It's on Amazon Prime. I don't know what the deal is on YouTube, but it's still $20. Posse 2 was a joke, though, just chilling. That's why I didn't mention it. That's why I didn't even mention that. That's why I mentioned New Jack City and I mentioned Posse. That's why I didn't even mention it. It was horrible. Yeah, New Jack City was offensive, but it did tell some truths. Not everything. Some of the stuff was kind of, glamorized. Yeah, The Criminals. It was full of colorism. It was. It really, really was. Why dark-skinned men always have to be. Yeah, The Criminal. Yeah. Yeah. Wesley played that role. We ain't like him. Well, we don't like Wesley now for other reasons, though. Because we found out what he did to Hallie, among other things. And he seems to have a real issue with his mama. Because he does not like black women. So he must have an issue with his mama. He must. Yeah, Nino. Nino Brown. Now, I liked him in that other one. What's it called? Blue Hill or something like that. I liked him in that one. And I loved him in the Blade movies. Do you know they've been talking about Do the Right Thing, y'all? How that movie pretty much talks about stuff going on right now. It's so present day. Rest in peace, Bill Nunn. Rest in peace, Bill Nunn. Y'all remember Bill Nunn? Had that big boom box that he would hold up in that movie.
Radio Raheem.
That's right, Radio Raheem. I remember. Blade 2. Yeah, Blade 2 was good. And the first two were, I think the first two were the best. But the third one, it was good, but it wasn't as good as the first two. But I don't think that they like necessarily disappointed us with those. Really? Yep. Chris Rock did. Now, y'all remember that was like early in Chris Rock's career. Chris Rock did an excellent job playing that crackhead. Yep. He did excellent playing the little crackhead. Did y'all hear there's a rumor going around. I don't know if this is fake news, y'all, but there's a rumor going around that India Arie and Chris Tucker are together and have been together for over a decade. And nobody knew it. Have y'all heard that? Martin Lawrence was supposed to play Pookie. Really? I can't see him in that role now. I mean, because Chris did such a good job. I can't even see Martin in that role. Come to think of it, I can't think of no role where I don't think he's ever played a role like that. Hey, the underrated darkness, how you doing? Okay, so you did see it. I was like, really? Okay. All right. So why y'all telling us now? All right, why y'all telling us now? Why y'all telling us now? Why we ain't know, all this time? What was the big secret? Why ain't nobody know y'all was together? I'm just saying. I remember back in the day, way back in the day, she was with Music Soul Child. And then they supposedly said she was dating Common during this supposed time that she supposedly, has been with Chris Tucker the whole time. Chris Rock brought dignity to the crackhead life. Jack. Well, he did a good job. I think he did a good job. I guess because the movie is now such a classic, I don't think any of us can picture somebody else playing that role. Just like supposedly Will Smith turned down Django. But can you picture Will Smith playing that role now that you've seen Jamie Foxx take it to another level? Because Jamie just didn't care. But think about it. Jamie's the one who has the Oscar. And Will still has diddly squat. He has an Oscar nomination. That's it. They just keep on passing on by him. Keep on passing him by. Exactly. You can't. It's like, so the role wasn't meant for Martin. You know, it was. I mean, that role basically, you know, kind of set Chris Rock up. Will Smith is too much of a conformist. Yeah, to play Django, probably. He cared too much what people thought. Jamie didn't. Jamie doesn't care. That's the difference between the two. Yeah. Jamie is definitely not a conformist. I mean, as we can tell, you know, he was waltzing around with Tom Cruise's ex for years and acting like they wasn't together. You know? Yeah, I mean, you know, Will Smith, I mean, he was the Fresh Prince. It was, you know, popcorn rap, you know. I mean, everybody like, you know, we all like, you know, getting jiggy with it back in the day. One won't hear no more now. And we like when he did the Men in Black stuff, you know. But, you know, I don't think that Will thinks that he's, you know, like a rapper. You know. Oh, you guys did Jazzy Jeff, did he pass? Or is he, because they said he got sick with COVID. Oh, you talking about Erica, man? No, we ain't gonna talk about Erica tonight. Nothing bad about Erica right now. You know, Erica is Erica. As far as her music, love her musically. She's just, you know, a different type of chick. That's all I'm gonna say. She's a different type of chick. She's an artist, you know. And artists have their quirks, and she has a lot of them. Yeah, I think he's sick. But I heard that they said that he got COVID. But then I haven't heard nothing else. But I heard he got COVID. Yeah, I hope he's doing better. Notice how we haven't heard nothing from Idris Elba since we heard from him like weeks and weeks ago when he first got it. Haven't heard nothing. I hope he hasn't. I think maybe he's just sick and they just don't know what they're not saying anything. You're right. It was because, I mean, Jazzy Jeff is the one who really made he's the one who made it poppin', you know, but Will was his boy. Will was his boy, and that was what it was. He's the one who, you know, if it wasn't for him, I don't think they'd have got the deal. But they never did. I don't think they ever did finish their deal. Because all Will did is changed it and called himself Will Smith. I don't think the Fresh Prince ever did all the albums he was supposed to do at the Fresh Prince. I think he just, had to pay them out. Oh, wow. Oh, he been drinking a hard-ass Philly water. Wow. All right, you guys. I think I've been on here for a long time. I've been over here for over an hour. And y'all know I did some scenes in a movie today. It was exciting, but I ache. Let me come on for a minute. I think I still have my makeup on from the movie too. Hey everybody. Yeah. That's our music. It's off. Oh, come on. Let me move it. David wants to come say hi. Let me move it. Say hi. Say hi, everyone.
Everyone. Okay.
Okay. All right. He just wanted to come say hi to y'all. All right, everybody. Thank y'all for hanging out with me tonight. It was a cool conversation. I always appreciate it. And welcome to the Mod Squad, just chilling. I appreciate you. That was showing my appreciation. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get off of here. I will be back on tomorrow. I got Cyber Church in the morning because unlike some other churches, my pastor said God has not told her to open her doors back up to the sanctuary, and she is not going to be just doing it for just 100 select people. So we're going to be doing Cyber Church at least until July at my church. But I will see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, everyone.